Today's recipe is going to be shepherd's pie, which is made with lamb mince. If you want to do cottage pie, then that's made with beef mince. So it'll be up to you which one you want to do. But we're going to follow the same basic recipe for both, but just substituting whichever mince you want. Hygiene drill. So long hair up, wash your hands, gel nails covered with gloves, an apron. So first thing to do is to peel your potatoes and also the carrots that you're using. Just chop off your ends. And the carrot is going to be cut into nice thin slices. I'm going to put them in some water to boil. And when you have fully peeled your potatoes, you're going to cut them up into kind of bite-sized pieces. You'll see when I cut them, and we're going to boil them. They're going to be for your mash, so that kind of size is going to be perfect. Put them into some water and a little bit of salt so they don't go all mushy. So we're going to put these on to boil. Ooh. And we're going to leave those for about 15 to 20 minutes. So once they've both started to boil, just turn the heat down to simmering and leave them for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so cut up your mushrooms. Going to go into the bottom of the filling. And also cut up your onion into small pieces, finely chopped. A little bit of oil into the bottom of your pan. Spray oil or normal oil is fine. And then we are going to soften and brown our onion. And when that's nearly ready or nearly softened, we're going to put the mushroom in just to partially cook those through before we put them into the full mixture. Just as usual, if you're struggling to cut anything up, just get an adult to help you out. Okay, so the mushrooms are starting to brown and soften up. So before I add the mushrooms, I'm going to add the mince, whether you're using beef or lamb. I'm using lamb, so mine will be a shepherd's pie. And when you've done that, we're going to fry the onions and the lamb mince or whatever mince you're using together. So just use your wooden spoon or your spatula to break that apart, and we're going to brown the mince. So the mince and the onions are pretty much browned now, so I'm going to add the mushrooms and we're going to cook those along with the mince and the onions a little bit longer. So while we're waiting for the potatoes to boil, I'm just going to grate some cheese. That's going to go on the top of the mashed potato. Okay, so I've drained the carrots and I've also put half a tin of peas in there. You can use frozen peas as well if you want. And we're just going to add that to the mince mixture. Okay, so boil your kettle. Mine's just boiled. And I'm going to make roughly 400 millilitres of gravy. That's for 2 people. I'm hoping that will be enough. I'm just going to use normal gravy granules. Some of you might rather use a stock cube. Just add that in. I like my gravy nice and thick, so I'm just going to add that until it starts to thicken up nicely. Okay, you don't have to do this, it's optional, but I always like to add things to my gravy. So Worcestershire sauce is always something that I add, a few splashes of that and mix it in. If I've got a little bit of red wine, I sometimes put that in as well. Red wine gravy is lovely. And also if you've not got red wine, I use like a balsamic vinegar or drizzle and just put a little bit of that in and mix it up, and I just think that makes gravy taste really nice. So I'm now going to add some of the gravy to the lamb mixture. I'm not going to add it all, I just want to add enough so that I can mix it in and it makes a nice mixture, not too runny. If you add it to that, you're also going to get the benefit of all the lamb juices as well, which will also make the gravy taste really nice. Right, so I've mixed all the gravy in. Just remember there's about 250 millilitres left, so I've used about 150 millilitres of the gravy, and that's ready to now pour into the bottom of your dish that's going to go in the oven. Okay, so drain your potatoes when they are soft enough to get a knife through. They're ready for mashing. So I'm going to add a knob of butter, about that much, not going to weigh that out. And then I'm going to add I'm using semi-skimmed milk, and this is a measuring spoon. This is about 80 millilitres, so I think that will probably be enough milk, and then we're going to mash. Okay, so Mr. Darrington is the masher in our house, so he's just mashing up the potatoes there. So once you've got all of your mash goes on the top. Just spread that out so it covers the entire filling, and then the last thing to do is to put the cheese on top, and then we're going to put that in the oven. Okay, so cover your mashed potato with cheese. I'd say for that size I've grated about 120 grams there, and I'm going to put that in the oven on 180 degrees span oven, and I'm going to leave that for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so, but I'll keep checking it until the topping is nice and brown. But everything's been pre-cooked, so it should already be cooked. The filling is already cooked. Okay, so it's been in about 20 minutes or so, and it's nicely browned on top, so just dish it up and serve with the remainder of the gravy that you should reheat before using. Enjoy!